Yote, is anything the matter? You seem troubled. Perhaps I might be able to help.
My lord. Yes. Perhaps you might. It's your brother. His condition continues to worsen, though he does his best to hide it. The lesion on his chest pains him more with each passing day.
I had feared as much.
There are certain elixirs which can ease the suffering of those afflicted by the curse, but... But His Grace's case is severe. The drafts I have been able to prepare for him thus far have ceased to have any real effect. So I consulted with Talia and certain of my comrades among the Undying about the possibility of finding something stronger. And thankfully, a recipe was found. The only problem being that the critical ingredient is exceptionally hard to come by, and our supplies are almost exhausted. Unless we can secure more soon, your brother's anguish will likely become unbearable. My lord, I know that I have no right to make demands of you. But would you help? For Joshua's sake.
For Joshua? Anything.
Thank you, my lord.
So, what is this critical ingredient?
A rare herb by the name of stonerwort. It grows only where the ether is densest. The vigor it stores in its stems helps to counteract the curse. We discovered a patch near the aqueduct in Rosaria. But alas, yet more ether has erupted from the earth there recently, leaving the whole area flooded. The search continues for a new source. One that we might reach without being turned.
So it's only that you can't reach it? The stonerwort itself is unharmed by the flood?
Well, yes, but...
Then I shall go in your stead.
But, my lord...
You've yet to find another source, correct? So for now, the aqueduct is our best hope. Besides, I'm a dominant. The ether can't hurt me.
Well, if you're sure, my lord. Stonerwort is easily identified by its blood-red blooms. Search around the aqueduct, and you're sure to find some soon enough. I shall remain here and prepare the other ingredients.
Twin sides hundreds of leagues.
There's something about it. Oh, bother. Whatever am I to do?
About what?
I've 2 dresses that need stitching, but I haven't got a scrap of linen. Those girls' rags are so threadbare. It's a wonder they don't fall to pieces. And we most certainly cannot have that. A certain amount of decorum must be maintained, even here at the hideaway. You wouldn't want the poor things going without decent clothes now, would you?
Of course not. What can I do to help?
Oh, aren't you a dear? You see, I've paid for 2 bolts of cloth from the drapers in Northreach, blue and red. But they don't deliver, not to places that aren't on the map anyway, so I'll need someone to take this receipt and collect them.
And you'd have this someone be me?
I would. And don't let them fob you off with anything less than what I paid for. 1 bolt of blue and 1 of red. I expect them both. They said they'd give us new clothes. Do you see anything you like? And a fine, fine day to you.
Dominion's all but done. Let's hope the Draper has Hortense's cloth.
Was that shouting I heard from the barracks?
Might I interest you in some swansdown? Perhaps some seersucker? Or herringbone?
Just some linen. 2 bolts. Already paid for in full.
Apologies, my lord, but your items aren't here. They were due to arrive on a caravan from Bocklad, but there's been little traffic on the road these past few days. My mother thinks it might be bandits, but she always thinks it's bandits.
It usually is. So I assume the caravan will be coming from the south.
Yes, hopefully carrying all manner of spice and sundries. Wait, you aren't thinking of...
Going to find it. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Oh, well then, be safe.
That damn bird's a menace! Who's gonna buy my wares now? State your animals left them in.
But they hardly damage us all.
Is there something wrong?
If you're a bandit come to steal my stuff, you're gonna be sorely disappointed. And all thanks to this fool.
But it was you who stepped into my path.
Only after that feather-brain trampled me. I demand recompense, be it in coin or the items you carry. Refuse, and I shall report you to the garrison and see you hanged.
These goods are expected in Northreach. I mean, they're not mine to give away.
You wouldn't happen to be on your way from Bocklad, would you?
I am, but did someone from the market send you? Please, you have to help me. I can pay whatever you ask.
So the fool has protection. And coin, too. Sorry, friend, but we'll be the ones taking it. Oi! Killer! It's time to collect!
I told you not to call me that. And we'd have already collected if you hadn't insisted we'd put on this little act.
Bandits!
As I told one of your customers, it usually is. Let's get this over with.
I'll deal with the bird lover. You take the handsome one, killer.
Stop calling me that.
All right. You made your point. Killer my ass.
Did he hurt you?
No, thankfully. He seemed intent on letting the bandit do his dirty work for him, and he would have succeeded had the great lender not sent you. My shipment is safe, and my livelihood with it. You must allow me to reward you.
We can speak of that once you're safe in Northreach. I'll accompany you there.
So, you and my mother were right. It is always bandits.
And were it not for the kindness of our free sword here, you'd be buying your order back from them at twice the price. Now, if you don't mind, I have a pressing appointment at the Vale before my return to Bocklad. Farewell.
Oh, I almost forgot. I suppose you'll be wanting your linen. You'll be happy to know both bolts arrived safely along with the rest of the delivery. I've also added a few extra lengths of our finest fabrics to the bundle. Free of charge.
Are you sure?
My mother would insist. It's the least we can do for the man who saved our shipment.
That's that done then. Now it's back to Hortense with her cloth.
Clive, sorry again for sending you all that way. But you did get my order, didn't you?
Don't worry. I have it. I believe this will more than satisfy your needs.
Let's see here. One bolt of red, one bolt of blue. What's this? I don't recall ordering any silk or velvet or... Is this gold work? Krieger's ghost. If that devilet of a draper expects me to pay for these...
You needn't worry on that score, Hortense. They were a gift. For services rendered. I can always return them if you like.
Oh, no. Oh, there's no need to be hasty now, Clive. I'm sure I can put all three to good use. Speaking of which one's most to your liking?
I don't know. This one, I suppose?
I've a mind to give a piece to Jill. Did you know she's quite the little seamstress?
I know needlecraft was amongst her lessons at the castle.
Her lessons? Oh, that's right. The two of you were raised together in Rosalith, weren't you?
Not quite together, but when my father put down the uprising in the Northern Territories, Jill was taken as a ward to ensure that her father, the Silvermane, would keep the peace.
She's an honest-to-goodness princess then, isn't she? I could tell, you know. Some people just have that air about them. Not many round here, mind. I'd offered to sew her something that might better suit her station. But she'd most likely turn me down, as she always does. Tell me not to waste the fabric when it's better used on the children.
Don't take it the wrong way. She certainly seems to be attached to the last outfit you made her.
Oh, sometimes I think she never takes it off.
Or perhaps she'll make something for herself with your gift. Either way, I'm sure she won't turn it down.
We'll see, I suppose.
Lady Hortense said she'd give us our dresses soon.
Trouble with your gear, or... So, will it be? Yeah, that should do you. You can thank me later. Yeah, that should do you. You can thank me later. Yeah, that should do you. You can thank me later. That it? Fine.
Run like the wind. Here's the aqueduct. Now to find our stonewort. Yote mentioned blood-red petals. Just my luck. Well, I won't be picking anything till they're gone. There's only one thing for it. is. Better collect as much as I can before reinforcements arrive. All right. That should do it. Let's get these back. Yote, I brought back all the stone and water I could find. Will this be enough?
Yes, my lord. Thank you. I'm sure it will serve us until we can find another source.
I'm very glad to hear it.
You and His Grace are very much alike, you know. You think only of how you might help others, and never of the danger to yourselves.
No more than you have minding my brother. You've risked a lot for him, and I thank you for it.
I am honored that you should say so. But I beg you, my lord, do not give too much of yourself for the sake of others. We could not afford to lose you.
I'll keep that in mind.
Twin sides hundreds of years.
Ah, Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
It's not nothing. I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will, or something akin to it.
His will? How and where?
In the crypt beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but would you join me?
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave when you are.
The bearer of the burning quill is within, my... Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father?
Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides. Those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent personages at court.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath. But one at least remains, and she has come bearing gifts.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering His Grace's will and arranging a meeting with the one who might execute it, or a part of it at least.
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, Your Grace.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
My lord, Your Grace.
I hardly recognize you. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Phoenix and his shields. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift. I only hope you can forgive my tardiness in bringing it to you.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service to our house and to our father.
I merely did my duty, as any proud Rosarian would.
My lady, perhaps you could explain a little more? What exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes upon their coming of age.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armbands for you both. Alas, he did not live. Indeed, he was taken from us even before they could be completed. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, not these works in progress. But with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed, I had little choice. You are grown men now, and his house is yours. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his stead, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you to do so.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady. May our father's will be done.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone, my lady?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon it. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in Titan's Wake, not far from here.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken question, yes. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its movements since you were but a boy. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield, it would surely make your father proud.
What say you, Joshua?
What else?
Eyes peeled, Joshua. There it is. For House Rossfield. Let's try. Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Goditha will know.
Opportunity beckons.
Oh, thank the Founder you were safe. The Griffin is slain then?
And the Heartstone claimed.
Yes, this radiant luster like frozen flame. It is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your Grace. Your father would be so proud.
Lady Goditha, the lapidary is ready.
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with him shortly. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith. The armbands are complete. Pray, take them. They are yours, after all. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion, and the graven vines encircling the stone represent the unbreakable bonds between you.
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies both inside and outside the duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be realized.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield, as brothers in arms. Only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, his heirs. But this was more than just a message. It was a promise. That he would always be with you.
Thank you, Lady Goditha, for remaining the steadfast custodian of our father's will.
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So, how were you able to keep them from her?
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of his intentions for the bands, of the deep love he had for both of you, and his hopes for your future. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew she meant to betray us. I tried to warn your father, but it was too late. When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the armbands and I fled into the night.
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the Griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone on its passing. And so my pursuit continued, until Lord Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered, and that his sons were alive and well.
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria, I thank you for your loyal service.
As do I.
Thank you, my lord. Your Grace, for coming back to us, for giving my service meaning.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is. And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial atop Hawk's Cry Cliff? Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that his vision lives on in you.
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive? Should we pay Father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we recovered it from Phoenix Gate. I prithee claim it, for it too is a part of your inheritance, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands than perched upon some lonely rock.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting. Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies? Of that I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. Perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us would have made all the difference.
Let darkness fall! Farewell!
It's just back there. Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward, then?
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
If Joshua's worried about Jill, I should go and speak with him. Joshua, I read your message. You're right. Jill is different. I don't think I'd realized how different, but since we returned from Drake's spine, I've felt it more and more.
I suppose it's not hard to imagine why.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her she is still one of us. To let her know that we still need her, now more than ever. That you still need her. But how to do that? When last we were truly close, we were but children.
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the Duchy? And Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man's Hill.
To see the snow daisies, I remember. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he had the entire retinue down to the pot boys combing the countryside.
In the rain. A thunderstorm forced us to take refuge in a grove of oaks before we'd even made it halfway there. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say, he was none too pleased.
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business. What do you say?
Man's Hill. It's not that far.
Oh, true. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern Rosaria remains as it was when we were children.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandits?
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow daisies left. What would you do without me, Clive?
This is the place, but...
I'm sorry, Clive.
There's nowhere been spared. What do we do now?
We keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where snow daisies grow.
Perhaps, but... it's the only place I know of. Knew of.
Then why not ask someone who might know of another?
Someone in the backyard? To the hideaway, then. Let's hope one of the gardeners knows where to find snow daisies.
Say what you will.
Oh. What brings you down from the heavens, Sid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough to carry the seeds. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps? Both have similar climbs and the right elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the Royal Meadows in Sambrak.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote was right. I recalled that she kept a record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew, and she mentioned Oilefeist Bay.
Whose shores border the meadows. Off we go then.
The High Cardinal.
Was that shouting I heard from the barracks?
Do you think he was the only one who survived?
Well, what do you think?
Someone's brave. The meadows are vast. Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
Look, brother.
Do you see them?
I do. The flowers and our friends. What do you see, boy? Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find out.
you're finished.
That was harder than I expected. But found her. It was worth it. They're beautiful.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them. Come on. Let's go.
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you. Well, you and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we?
Jill, there's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. Now, I know this is sudden, but how would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough. We've been worried about you. Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped. So lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling. Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did?
What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized that no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have. And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure. We should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
me you want. I'm right here.
Run like the wind. Back to the stables, girl.
Quiet.
Looks like we're working something up. Only one thing for it. Sweet dreams.
wasn't expecting you back so soon. You earned this. All done?
Fancy a look at the list, do you? Anything catch your eye?
The High Cardinal.
The Dominion's all but done for.
Was that shouting I heard from the barracks?
And you're just gonna fall into line?
I don't trust this Duke. If we look
Oh, Clive. What am I to do? My wards and I may soon be without a home.
What's happened?
The High Cardinal has descended from his lofty throne and taken up residence here in Northreach.
The High Cardinal?
Leader of the Council of Elders, second only to his Radiance at the head of the Imperial government. Not that any of those things still exist. Now he goes by his noble title, the Duke of Oriflamme.
And what does he want with Northreach?
He wants to transform it into a military stronghold, a foundation upon which to build a new Sambrec. He's already secured the support of the various army remnants, with promises that they shall be afforded the respect they deserve in his empire. One built on the confiscated property of the people.
He would rob the populace to pay for it.
Believe me, I have used every means of persuasion to discourage him from this folly. But for whatever reason, he will not listen to me.
What does Captain Philippe make of this? When the town was under attack, it was him the soldiers rallied around. Couldn't he use that influence again?
How? By speaking out against one of the most powerful men in Sambrec. A man whose stated aim is to revive the empire Philippe's comrades swore to serve, and to improve the soldiers' lot within it. The captain can offer them a regular supply of gruel, and an occasional trip to the Vale to help them forget the terrors they face each day. The Duke offers them a vision of strength and safety. No. Any attempt to incite mutiny would cost Philippe the support of his men, if it did not cost him his life. But given the mood around town, mutiny may yet be unavoidable. The people have little appetite for further deprivation, least of all when it serves only to elevate others.
And who could blame them?
Clive, would you appeal to the Duke on my behalf? For your services to Northreach, you have the respect of the soldiers, and they will take you to His Eminence if you ask them. And unlike Philippe, no bonds of loyalty prevent you from speaking your mind to the man. Well, will you try? You could hardly fare any worse than I did.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Clive.
Tell me then, where will I find this Duke of Oriflamme? In the garrison?
Overseeing the troops, yes.
All right. Wish me luck.
We may have met this Duke before. At the Remembrance Ceremony.
Let's hope we didn't make a strong impression.
It's not only control of the garrison he wants.
We already have a leader in the Dame.
Halt. Oh, sorry about that. You're the Dame's man, aren't you? You got some business with the captain?
No, actually. With the Duke. I was hoping I might be able to speak with him.
We're under orders not to let any civilians pass. But you should be all right. His Eminence has heard all about you and your heroics. Wait here. I'll go and ask.
So, you are the sellsword who lent his aid to the garrison. The Empire owes you a debt, and I shall see it repaid. But tell me, is it wealth that you seek, or favor?
Neither, Your Eminence. I thought only to inquire about your plan to turn Northreach into a stronghold.
Ah, I see. You are worried the expanded garrison will render your services redundant. Yet you needn't be. A proud fighting man like yourself shall always have a place here. Pride of place, in fact. For too long has the contribution of the noble soldier been under-reckoned. But no more. For it is they who shall see the Holy Empire rebuilt, beginning right here in Northreach.
Why here, Your Eminence?
The town has been fortunate enough to escape largely unscathed from the recent troubles. Her defenses are sound, and her garrison well prepared. Which is more than can be said for Oriflamme or Twinside. The Empire wants for a capital, and I believe Northreach to be the perfect place. With Caer Norvent as her citadel. Once we have seen to the refortification of both the town and the castle, we need only build a wall around both to create a city that would be the envy of the twins. Plans are already underway for the construction. Soon enough, these thralls shall learn that they are no match for the might of Sanbreque.
I fear you underestimate how dangerous these creatures are, Your Eminence. Should they return in force, you will need all the people of Northreach to come together in defense of the town. Something they may be loath to do if they've been deprived of their worldly goods.
The people will do as their leaders command. If Sanbreque is to be rebuilt, she will require a functioning government. One whose authority is beyond question. That is why this levy is necessary. So that any man who wishes to join the army might do so and be fed, outfitted, and paid as befits a defender of the Empire. And yet there are those who persist in peddling the treasonous lie that I seek to steal from the people and drive them from their homes.
I suspect they're afraid of losing what little they have left.
Precisely. The common folk have little and less, and you mean to deprive them of even that. You would sow the seeds of your new empire in your own salted earth.
Sabine, we have discussed this.
Yes, and I told you then how putting the empire before her citizens would lead only to revolt.
Without an empire, there are no citizens.
And in yours, there will be only beggars. Is that what Griga wills for her people?
Do not take her name in vain, Sabine.
I'll come back later. A citizens' revolt. I wonder what the people really think of the Duke's plan. It wouldn't hurt to ask them, I suppose. Let's begin with those on the other side of the wall.
Sabine.
Do you think he was the only one who survived?
Was that shouting I heard from the barracks?
A question, if you don't mind. What do you think of the Duke of Oriflamme?
Don't get me started. You build a life for yourself somewhere, only for some noble to turn up and tell you got to hand it all over to him. If he thinks his name and his chains give him the right to empty our purses, he's in for a rude awakening. We'll do whatever it takes to keep what's ours. Whatever it takes.
All right there. What is it you're after, sir?
Just your opinion, actually. I wondered what you thought of the Duke of Oriflamme.
Oh, him. Not much. None of us traders do. It's thanks to nobles like him that we had to set up shop this side of the wall in the first place. Couldn't have the rabble getting any closer to the holy capital, could they? And now he's trying to drive us out completely, threatening to take everything we got from us if we don't clear off. If the dame said she wanted him run out of town, I'd be straight through that checkpoint, tar bucket in hand.
That so-called Duke is asking to...
Sell anything today?
I've been hearing a lot of talk about a certain Duke.
Nothing good, I'll wager. Going around acting like he owns the place. And with hardly a word to the dame. This is her town, not his.
I take it you'd rather she was in charge.
As far as I'm concerned, she still is. Just need his eminence to sod off back to Oriflamme.
Well, the people seem united enough. What about the soldiers?
Was that shouting I heard from the barracks?
Do you think he was the only one who survived?
You're the one who was talking to His Eminence.
On the dame's behalf, yes. I was trying to persuade him not to take the people's goodwill for granted, but it seems my words fell on deaf ears. What do you think of his plans?
I'm a soldier, mate. He tells me what to do, not the other way round. Listen, I've got nothing but respect for the dame, but I've got a family to look after. That's where my loyalties lie. Not with the town or the Empire, but with my wife and children. If the Duke can get us the men and the equipment we need to fight off those blue-skinned bastards, I don't care how he does it.
We already have a leader in the Dame.
I hear the Duke of Oriflamme plans to turn this town into some sort of fortress. Do you think that's a good idea?
It's not for me to say. All I know is that unless the Emperor orders me otherwise, His Eminence's word is law. Look, no one likes all these taxes and tariffs, but empires don't come for free. Once Sanbreque is back on her feet, we'll all reap the benefits.
Sabine, you are embarrassing me.
It's not only control of the garrison he wants, it's the whole of North
Excuse me, do you have a moment? I wondered if you'd mind sharing your thoughts on the Duke of Oriflamme.
Well, he's made a lot of enemies coming in the way he did. But I mean, look around us. You can see the state the realm's in. The traders might not like having the screws put on them, but if they volunteered a few more of their hard-earned gil before things got bad, maybe they wouldn't have to. I think the Duke's got a point when he says rebuilding the Empire's the best way of making sure we're all protected. And if that means people who don't know one end of a sword from another have to make way for those who do, well, that's just how it goes.
Let's see what Philippe makes of all this.
Welcome back. Wraiths give you any trouble?
Captain, do you have a moment?
For you? Certainly. Clive, wasn't it? Thank you for last time. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Duke of Oriflamme. Do you intend to go along with his plan?
But to tell you the truth, I'm in two minds. It's my sworn duty as a captain of the Imperial Army to obey his orders. But I can't say I agree with him.
Philippe, I remember you saying that you became a soldier to protect the people you loved. The Dame included.
That's right, I did.
Well, she doesn't agree with the Duke's orders either. She thinks they could tear Northreach apart.
And she's probably right. Thank you, Clive. I know what I need to do now. Protecting the people I love is what matters. Doesn't matter how. Well, duty calls, so I better go. Thanks again.
It seems Philippe wants to do the right thing at least. I expect Isabel will be pleased to hear that, if nothing else.
Well, what do you think?
Ah, Clive. How did you fare? Were you able to speak with the Duke?
I was, but...
So Northreach is to be a fortress after all. Well, it will certainly help to hold back the thralls. There's no denying that. Though I doubt it will come as much consolation to the townspeople whose worldly goods are confiscated to pay for it. They deserve to be heard, Clive. To have a say in this new empire the Duke means to build.
Sadly, His Eminence values their obedience more than their opinions, and hopes to reassert the authority of the state. I fear he sees the people as mere pawns on his chessboard to be sacrificed for the greater good. Needless to say, they themselves are of a different opinion, and would rather their destinies were in your hands. The soldiers, meanwhile, are content to follow their orders. And not just because of the Duke's rank, but because of his vision.
I thought as much. Had I sworn to protect Sanbreque, I dare say I too would want nothing more than to see it rise from the ashes. Thank you for trying. But the battle is lost.
I don't know about that.
What happened to your uniform?
I handed it in, along with my resignation. Told the lads I wished them well, but that I owe it to those I love to call it a day.
But why?
Because I realize what really matters to me. Not following some nobleman's orders for the sake of it, but protecting what I care about. Protecting Northreach. I honestly don't know when those monsters will return, but I'm certain they're not finished with us yet. And when they do come back, we need to be ready for them. We need to stand together, all of us. And with you to lead us, milady, I reckon we can do it. It was you who finally convinced me, Clive. There's no point following orders if they go against everything you believe.
Indeed.
All of us, standing together. That has always been Northreach's best hope, and one which still lies within our grasp. We have only to turn our attentions to the true enemy. Thank you, Philippe, for showing me what I must do.
Anything for you, milady. Speaking of standing together, would you mind if I borrowed a few of the lads from the Vale to help keep watch around the town? I fear His Eminence has loftier tasks in mind for the guard.
Not at all. Be my guest.
Wouldn't be the first time.
There may be hope for Northreach yet. Especially with men like you and Philippe to champion our cause. I, for my part, shall continue to work upon the Duke, in the stubborn belief that I might still tempt him into joining hands. But I suspect I shall have to call upon your aid again. Until then, Clive.
Until then.
Do you have a moment, Clive?
What is it?
It's the Duke, unsurprisingly. His Eminence has assumed full control of the garrison and put every able-bodied man to work on the fortifications. The town was left all but unguarded, so Philippe was compelled to form a citizen's watch to fill the void. And though my dear boys have been characteristically willing to assist him in this, they want for bodies. So I was wondering if you would lend them your strength, that the people of Northreach might sleep easier, if only for a few nights.
Of course. Whatever you need.
Thank you, Clive. What would I do without you? Philippe told me he had men stationed at...
Where can I find the mistress of this establishment?
Here, my lady. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
My name is Sabine, and it is my displeasure to be the daughter of the Duke of Oriflamme, who I understand is causing you and your town no small amount of trouble. I wish to speak to you about what might be done.
Very well. Let us speak. I trust you'll forgive me, Clive.
Absolutely. Our conversation can wait.
Please, proceed.
As you know, my father is a most overbearing and supercilious man, and I join you in objecting to his every action. Indeed, I owe you my thanks for continuing to argue against his reckless plans. Yet I fear he is not one to be swayed by reason. No. He must be made to face the consequences of his actions.
And who would make him do this?
I would. Myself and several other like-minded individuals. Were you to join us, we would surely have the strength to drive him from Northreach for good.
Does that not seem a trifle... drastic?
Drastic action is precisely what is called for. Unless you are content to see your people downtrodden and dispossessed. My father would have it that citizens exist only to serve the Empire. That they should be forced to make every sacrifice to ensure her revival. But he is wrong. It is not the people who must serve the Empire, but the Empire who must serve her people. He's always been like this. Scornful of the opinions of anyone he judged beneath him. But he cannot be allowed to ride roughshod over the common folk any longer. We must fight him by all possible means.
Fight him? No. My purpose is to quell the tension in Northreach, not to stoke it. Respectfully, my lady. Our only chance of saving this town depends upon every one of us uniting against our common enemy. Your father and his followers included. While I understand your frustrations, I cling to the hope that he may yet be won round.
False hope. I assure you. But I see that your mind is made up. I shall bother you no longer. If you will extend me the same courtesy, I bid you good day.
She certainly has spirit.
Indeed. But unfortunately for us, that spirit is only likely to harden the Duke's resolve, which may be enough to seal the fate of this town. Not that she cares. This is all about her and her father.
Families.
I'm sorry, where were we? Ah, yes. I was about to tell you of Philippe's plans for the town watch, but perhaps it's better that you heard them from him. I believe he's in the market, if you'd be so kind as to seek him out.
Right away.
It's just a pity I cannot join you. I'd like to see the two of you in action together.
Your town needs you.
I need you. But the Duke would have me clapped in irons. Saw the captain just now. I would speak with this Duke.
What does the dame have to say about all this?
So you are content to abandon... Please, I beseech you. If you are a true son of Northreach, you must fight to defend your home.
That's exactly what I am doing, milady. Or trying to, at least. The land is crawling with fiends, and someone has to keep watch.
Even when our true enemy is hiding in the garrison? Fine. You're not the only able-bodied man in Northreach. Thank you so much for your help.
She cornered you too, then?
Could hardly get a word in edgeways. Like father, like daughter, eh?
She made an uninvited appearance at the Vale earlier, hoping to convince the Dame to join her in fomenting rebellion.
I bet that went well. Her ladyship seems to have a way with people. Anyway, what brings you here?
Our mutual friend thought you might welcome some help.
Oh, she did she? Right as always. In fact, you're just the man. We've had some reports, you see. Sightings of, you know what.
They're back.
Seems that way. All over, too. We haven't been able to confirm anything yet, but if you're willing, you could go and see what's what.
Right. Where should I look?
You know Grieger's Weep? One of the sightings places them somewhere on its shores.
I'm on my way.
Thank you, Clive. I'll look into one of the other sightings. Let's rendezvous back here later.
Damn it. The reports were true. I need to stop them before they get to the town. It's over! Call that a test, Ultima?
Clive, it's me. You all right?
I am. But it seems the reports were true. The thralls have returned. I dispatched the few that I found, though.
Well, that's something, I suppose. But what were they doing south of town? They all came from the north last time. We might be able to fend off an attack from one side or the other, but from both?
Do you have eyes in the north?
Some. I should probably go and have a look, though, just to be sure. You head back to Northreach. I want you there just in case war breaks out while I'm away.
What do you mean?
Her ladyship's been busy working her magic on the townspeople. Stirring up ill feeling towards her father. She'll have her marching on the barracks if we're not careful.
What? This is exactly what the Dane was afraid of. I'll do what I can to calm things down. Be careful out there, all right?
Don't worry, I'm not like you. One sniff of those things and I'm running back to town screaming blue murder.
Do you not see, Father? The people of Northreach have given enough, and only a fool would ask for more.
Listen to me, Sabine. Where would our people be without their country, hmm? The Empire is their sword and their shield. It is she that ensures they can live without fear. And now she teeters on the brink. Without their sword, how will the people fight? Without their shield, how will they protect their kin? Can the unarmed stand against the advancing hordes? No. But there is yet hope. A new shield, a new sword. A new empire. We can rebuild Sanbreque, just as Great Griga wills it.
Perhaps we could, Father. But we don't want to. Not if it is built on the broken backs of the people.
Please, let us not quarrel in the street. You must see that no good will come of this. Our fight is not with each other, but with the threat that draws ever closer to our gates. A threat that your sword has yet to rid us of, Your Eminence.
You will hold your tongue, whore! You may have filled my daughter's head with your heresy, but I will not be corrupted.
Corrupted? Your daughter's opinions are her own, as you would know if you had ever deigned to listen to her. At least I hope they are your opinions, and not posturing born of a family feud. Northreach deserves better than that.
Northreach deserves better than you, Carla. Yes, I know who you are. The slut of Twinside who bedded a Branded.
Jealous, are you? That a woman might choose a bearer over a pious man of Griga.
Clive! I met a swarm of thralls coming south from Oriflamme. Hundreds of them. Too many to count.
Oh, fuck. No. Work on the fortifications has scarcely begun. We will retreat to Caer Norvent and there make our stand. Did you hear me? That was an order!
While this is but a heartfelt plea, let us make our stand here and protect our homes. Protect those that we love. Together, for Northreach!
You heard the dame. What are we waiting for? Pikemen to the gates. Archers to the roofs. Quickly, come on!
But she is but a common...
whore, yes. And we'd follow her to the gates of hell. The men have their orders, and they look like following them. I got them spaced out at regular intervals. Whichever direction the thralls strike from, there'll be someone there to meet them.
Thank you, Philippe. Rest assured, the people will play their part. The herbalist has donated her stock of medicines to me. Should any of your men be injured, take them to the Vale. We'll see to them there.
Thank you, milady. I will.
I'll play my part too. You still want for numbers. Unlike the enemy. I only hope I can go some way to evening the odds. Philippe, can I leave the south in your hands? I doubt the thralls by the lake were the last of their number.
Of course. I'll lead a party down that way so we don't get taken by surprise. What about you?
I'll make my way up the road to Oriflamme. I fought a few of these things. And while I can't promise to hold them all back, I should be able to thin the herd.
All right. But take care.
Thank you. Both of you.
You can thank us when it's over.
Till then, madame.
When the fight begins...
I want steel in the hands of every man.
There are so many of them.
Not for long.
Is it over?
No. It's only just begun. That looks to be the last of them. I wonder how the others fared. Better hurry back to town. Come on, Torgal.
Clive, it's good to see you.
And you. The road to Oriflamme is clear. How did you and your men fare?
Well, we ended up fighting for our lives down by the lake. Took a few nicks, but nothing the girls of the Vale can't put right.
Glad to hear it.
Well, it seems we've survived. For the time being, at least. I thank you both for answering the call.
You were right. And I was wrong. About everything. I had thought that the only way to unite the people was under the banner of Empire. That without a strong hand to guide them, they would drift apart. To be borne hither and yon by the eddying currents of fate. But you brought them together. Not by force, nor by the exercise of goddess-given authority, but by simply being one of them. By knowing what they feel, because you feel it yourself.
Our purpose was ever the same, Your Eminence. You were merely distracted by a loftier vision of empire and glory, while our eyes beheld matters closer to home.
You have the right of it again. As did you, Sabine. His radiance said it himself. Sanbreque is naught without her citizens. I forgot that, and I am sorry.
I'm sorry too, Father. I should never have taken things so far. I only wanted you to understand how the people felt. How I felt. But my anger got the better of me.
Do not blame yourself, my dear. This was my doing. I should have listened to you. To all of you.
Your Eminence, your Ladyship, I do not doubt that you came here with the best of intentions. But I believe the same could be said of us all. We all want safety, security, prosperity. Not just for Northreach, but for the entire realm. And we may yet achieve it. If only we work together. Will you join us in this?
Yes. We shall.
Thank you, Your Eminence. Now that that is settled, I must go and see to the wounded. The Vale's doors are always open to any soldier in need of relief. And today there are more than ever before.
Madame Isabel is a rare soul indeed. In these dark times, I see that it is not men like me who should lead the realm, but women like her.
You're right. If only I'd listened to her when I had the chance.
Forgive me for saying so, milady, but you still do. The Dame said it herself. We can turn things around. We just have to work together. And that goes for you, too. You're one of us now.
One of you?
Well said, Captain. Let this be a new beginning. Not only for Sanbreque, but for us.
Well, since there's nothing more to be done here, I should see if Isabel needs any help moving the wounded.
Can we get you anything?
There's no need to worry any longer.
I saw several soldiers being carried to the Vale.
How goes the treatment of the wounded? I'd be happy to man one end of a stretcher if it would help.
You've helped quite enough for one day, Clive. Thank you.
Don't mention it.
Oh, but I must. After all you've done for this town, it is the very least you deserve.
Tell me, if Northreach had fallen, what would you have done? A woman of your means could find a home anywhere in the realm, but I sense you would rather have died here.
It's a long story.
For you, madame, I have all the time in the world.
Very well. Long ago, I had a life in the Crystalline Dominion. I was Carla then, courtesan to the nobility. So sought after was I that it was only they who could afford my time. Alas, those halcyon days were not to last. For naive as I was, I fell in love with a bearer. He was my master's guard, the gentlest man I have ever known. After they discovered us together, he was whipped bloody and forbidden from ever looking at me again. And so we fled. Not that we had anywhere to flee to. We wandered, aimless and starving, half dreading, half praying that the next day would be our last. Until we found ourselves here, in Northreach. It was the Vale that took us in, that fed us, clothed us, and healed our hurts. Those that could be healed, at least. My love was already too far gone.
He passed away.
He did. Not long after we arrived. But at least we were able to share a few moments of peace before the end. It was the greatest gift I have ever received. But the generosity of this town and her people did not end there. The men and women of the Vale supported me through my grief. Shared in it, though I was still a stranger to them. They treated me like a sister. And so I swore that I would always do the same. That I would return the kindness that Northreach showed me. That I would repay my debt to the Vale.
Thank you, Isabel, for sharing this with me.
You're a lot like him, you know. Perhaps that is why I have such a soft spot for you. Never stop fighting, Clive. And I shan't either. I know that it will not be easy to keep Northreach together. But our efforts will be rewarded. Just look at us now. The people, the soldiers, even the Duke of Oriflamme and his daughter, all united in defense of this town that we have come to call our home. And what of you? Can we count on your support too?
Always.
this the last one?
We did it!
I saw several soldiers being carried to the Vale.
Let's go.
Fly, Ambrosia.
This might take a while.
The one who drove His Highness to madness! On your knees!
He hasn't heard. He doesn't look like he's willing to listen.
Only your death will serve!
Too slow.
Share my pain!
Damn it. Dion would have been glad to have you back at his side. Run like the wind. Someone's brave. these things.
What do you want? No scratches, all right? Should last you a good while. And? Farewell.
Fly, Ambrosia. No mistakes.
It's over.
Do you have a moment, Sid? A team of curse breakers has gone missing near Northreach.
Which team?
Coles. They were sent to liberate a carriage of bearers before they could be smuggled to market. They were moving in for their assault when the carriage was attacked by goblins. A curse breaker managed to release a Stolas amid the confusion, but... this was days ago. They should be back by now, but I've heard nothing from any of them. I can't help but worry that...
They know the work is dangerous. But I'm sure they're fine.
But what if I've got them all killed? Before they go out, I always remind them why we're doing this, what they escaped, and what we're freeing people from. But I never really thought how my words might affect them. What risks they might take because of the things I've said.
I'll go and find them. We'll both rest easier knowing they're safe.
Thank you, Sid. And I'm sorry to trouble you with this. The plan was to intercept the slaver somewhere in the Dragon's Eyrie. I can't tell you much more than that, I'm afraid.
That should be enough to go on. If they were there, Torgal will track them down. Run like the wind.
Have care.
Be safe. Run like the wind. Enough of you, are there? Let's go. Run like the wind. Enough of you, are there? You deserve a rest.
Ugh.